Welcome to Super Great Kids Stories, fun tales to make you laugh and cry, with some of the best storytellers from around the world, recommended for ages 5 to 105. I'm Kim, and I love stories. Have you ever walked in the woods and heard strange voices calling you? Well, this magical fairy tale from Tuup is about the things that live within the woods.
Early in the morning, there's a small cottage. Within this cottage, there's a woodsman. Sad to say, his dear wife had departed, and he now was working alone out in the woods. It was so early in the morning that the heavens had come down to the surface of the earth, and they moved around like a thick fog mist. That morning he laid out upon the table a handkerchief. He put into the handkerchief some bread, some milk, some biscuits, and a breast of chicken. He tied it up into a bundle. He put that bundle onto the end of his axe and started to make his way out into the woods. It was his job to make sure that he would look after the forest and the trees. He was a forester. As he was walking and walking, he was passing the young saplings. He didn't want to trouble those. He continued until he passed the midway of trees that was growing tall and strong. He didn't want to touch those. He entered into the old, gnarled, twisted part of the woods and the forest. And so there he was, early, fresh in the morning. He put down his bundle. He cupped his fingers and hands close to his mouth and blew into his fingers. Oh, his hot breath made his fingers tingle and sparkle, and he could feel the blood moving through his fingers. He blew into his cupped hands again. Oh, he was ready for work now. He held on to the end of his axe, and he was just about to swing it forward when he heard a voice say, "Human." He stopped. He looked around, all around, up and down. There was nothing there. He thought to himself, "My imagination is playing tricks on me." It was just the wind moving through the trees. Once again he cupped his hands close to his mouth again with his fingers. He blew into his cupped hands. Rubbed his hands together as before, got them ready for work, held onto the edge of the axe, and was just about to swing it forward when once again he heard the voice say, "Human." He span around, he looked around, and there he saw a ball of fog moving around and around. And the man became frightened, but at the same time was quite brave enough to ask, "Voice from the forest, is the voice coming from within you, mist?" And a voice said, "Yes, human. I am a forest spirit. I live and I play in the forest. Human, what are you doing with your fingers and your hands?" "Ah," said the woodsman, "the morning is fresh. and I am blowing on my fingers and my hands to keep my hands nice and warm. And the forest spirit said, "The breath from your mouth is hot and warm." "Yes," said the woodsman, "the breath from my mouth is hot and warm." And by this time the morning was lifting up from the ground, up through the trees, up to the tip of the trees, up into the sky, and returned as clouds. The woodsman said, "Well, well, well, what a morning this has been." He blew into his cup hands once again, and he held onto his axe, and he struck at the tree. He struck at the tree and done all the work that he had to do. You know, wood is used for many, many things. Tables, chairs, window frames, beds. Think of all the things you can think of. Even the pizzeria man needs his wood for his pizzas. But now the sun had already rose up into the sky and was making its journey down the other side. The man thought to himself, "Oh, well, I've got more work to do." He had stacking and packing and packing and stacking and stacking and packing and packing and stacking and cutting and sawing and sawing and cutting and woo! By this time the sun had already set, and the heavenly clouds started to move back down towards the ground as a thick fog. The man, he thought to himself, "I better have my late lunch now." So he opened up his bundle and he took out some of the things which he had brought with him when he left that morning. I wonder if you can remember what they were. Milk, bread, some biscuits, and a breast of chicken. He started to make for himself a barbecue. He put a stick through the breast of chicken, placing it over the fire, turning it around and around until it was cooked inside to the outside, sizzling. When he took the breast of chicken off the fire, he started to blow and blow onto the breast of chicken. He blew and he blew and he blew until he heard a voice say, "Human." The man looked around and around, and he saw the thick, fogged mist rolling around in a ball. And the man asked, "Voice from the forest, is the voice coming from within you, mist?" And a voice said, "Yes, human, I am a forest spirit. You told me that the breath from your mouth is hot and warm. Are you cooking your food with the breath from your mouth?" "No," said the woodsman, "not at all." And the forest spirit asked, "You told me that the breath from your mouth is hot and warm." And the forest spirit did not understand. And the woodsman said, "No, I am trying to cool my food down. It is far too hot for me to eat." And the forest spirit asked, "Human, the breath from your mouth is cold and cool." "Yes," said the woodsman, "the breath from my mouth is cold and cool." And the forest spirit said, "Humans, I do not understand." That's the end of the story. But if you were to cup your hands together and blow into the little hole into your cupped hands, then your fingers may feel nice and hot and warm. And if you were to place your fingers and hands in front of you, spread open your fingers and just lightly blow onto your fingers and hands. It may feel a little bit cold. So we have one mouth, but we can blow hot and cold. And that is the end of the story.
Thanks for listening to Super Great Kids Stories. Remember to like, subscribe and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. If you like the stories, we'd love to hear from you. Get in touch via our website at supergreatkidsstories.com, where you can also find out more about our storytellers.